Russia is located in the continent of Europe by Asia and has a temperate climate. Some of Russia's biggest resources is oil, gas, and timber. Oil and gas can be found in these grasslands. One of their biggest industries is cutting trees. Russia's summers are hot, dry, and the winters are extremely cold and frigid. Their winds come from the prevailing westerlies, which brings Arctic blasts down from the north, polar, and west across the country. But in the past few years, climate change has increased average temperature by 2 degrees. With the melting ice caps of the north and the warming oceans, Russia has never seen temperature increases like this before in such a short amount of time. These changes are predicted to continue if regulatory changes aren't made to control emissions and pollution. If we also don't make a change to a renewable resource, we will not only increase the rate of climate change even further, but will run out of natural resources for the future. This is a serious problem and that needs to be dealt with before we can undo what we have done.
Australia is located in Oceania and is between the Indian Ocean and the South Pacific Ocean. North Australia's global climate is the temperate grassland. This dry, hot climate and limited rain is caused by the dry, cool air that blows across the country from the Antarctic. The climate in North Australia is mainly semi-arid/temperate grassland with warm summer Mediterranean. Some major characteristics of the climate is mountains, hills, bays, gulfs, volcanoes, and canyons. Some extreme weather patterns are heat waves, cyclones, floods, droughts, and brush fires. The thing that affects the creation of the weather is the dry, cool air from Antarctica. This air also makes the overall climate dry and arid because the cool, dry air doesn't have any moisture in it and causes the precipitation to be only 24 inches of rain per year. Natural resources from temperate grasslands include livestock, grass, oil, coal, wheat, and gas. The climate affects the culture and people because people tend to go to warmer climates than cold or hot climates. Natural resources affect the culture and the people because they can make people move to get available natural resources for themselves. Ways that climate has changed in the last 50 years. Heat waves have become longer and hotter. Cyclones are more common and more intense. Droughts are more likely to happen and will last a lot longer. And hotter and drier conditions have contributed to more brush fires and increased the extreme fire days. In the next 50 years, will cause stressed urban water supply and the effects of changes in temperature and water availability on agriculture. Major declines in agricultural production across most of the country. Changes in this region causes the world's increase in CO2, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, and some artificial chemicals such as CFCs. Increase in world temperatures, higher sea level, and world temperature.
The grasslands of China are located between India and Russia in Southeast Asia and in the Eastern Hemisphere. The climate is influenced by the Indian and Pacific Oceans and the Himalayan mountain range. The climate is very moderate when it comes to temperature. It is located around the same line of latitude the United States is on. The pollution is also an important factor in the temperature change. In the winter, it can get to a temperature of negative 25 degrees Celsius, and in the summer, 45 degrees Celsius. In the future, climate scientists have predicted that the grasslands will continue to become a desert. There is an average of 40 inches of precipitation per year. The climate over the years has changed lots. The grasslands have been gradually drying up, leading to desertification by monocropping, over harvesting, temperature increases, and precipitation decreases. Those farmers, I tell ya. In the future, climate scientists have predicted that it will continue to become a desert. Nowadays, our culture is most responsible for climate change, not just in China, but anywhere else in the world. We pollute the environment with almost everything we do. Even people farming can affect the climate.
Temperate grasslands of Turkey. Turkey is bordered by Syria, Iraq, and Greece, to name a few. Turkey is in the temperate climate zone, and the climate is also pretty dry, contributing to lower precipitation. Average annual temperatures range from below 32 degrees Fahrenheit to about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The warmer end of this range would probably be towards the tropical savanna. The small amount of rain that happens is mostly around the early spring and end of summer. And it's greenhouse gases that are causing these drastic changes. With global CO2 emissions high, it's causing the global temperature to rise, making Turkey's precipitation drop. But it's not Turkey's fault, right? The coastal areas of Turkey bordering the Sea of Marmara, which connects the Aegean Sea and the Black Sea, have a transitional climate between a temperate Mediterranean climate and a temperate oceanic climate with warm to hot, moderately dry summers and cool to cold, wet winters. Some natural resources that can be found in Turkey are coal, copper, iron ore, and marble. The country mainly relies on coal to fuel the country's recent booming industry. The iron ore that is found here contributes to making these construction materials, while the coal is used to provide power. Other resources that they rely on are wood and metal. With over 48 million hectares of farmland, or 118,610,000 acres, you can tell the country's main industry is farming and agriculture. When it comes to tradition, farming and family are very important. Throughout the period 1951 through 2004, precipitation in the western provinces of Turkey has decreased significantly, affecting their crops' growth and depriving them of water. While not having enough water to live isn't a problem for the people, not having enough water for the crops is a problem. If you think it's not Turkey's fault, you're wrong. They are also part of the problem. With the second highest energy consumption growth after China, Turkey is highly dependent on Russian and Iranian oil and gas. Even with its highly advantageous ability to become a regional energy corridor between Europe and Asia, its government is highly invested in coal to power their quick-growing country. And if you haven't forgot, coal and other fossil fuels are responsible for most of climate change.
As you can see, countries around the world are being impacted by climate change. While some changes are small, others are more significant. These changes are caused by the burning of fossil fuels. Only you can stop fossil fuel emissions.